Good evening, and welcome to another recalcitrant version of Diatribes from the voice of doom. Now here's your unruly and ungovernable host, voice of doom. Hello. I should have done something different than the usual since I've been gone for 2 weeks. And I know everybody missed me, and I had my serious forebodings about ever being on this channel again. Not that it matters, but I know there's a few people that might like my stuff, so I will do another one and continue where I left off with the eulogy of what used to be the United States of America. Because it's been 2 weeks, and I was thinking that a lot would happen that I could talk about. And other than a major island of a state of what used to be the United States burning down to the ground, and another indictment of Orangey, which is getting a little bit tiresome and boring. You know, you just overdo it, and you just keep on doing it, and people get immune to even caring. And then they're finally going to go, wait a minute, this guy's being unfairly treated. Especially when they have all the evidence. When you watch the so-called news, you see the evidence of the other side doing the same exact thing that they're wanting to indict him for. So, two-tiered system, multi-tiered system, MLM of justice, which there is none. The usual. I can go on. But I wanted to catch you up on the microcosm and how bad it is, so that I can scare you about the macrocosm, which is a reflection of the microcosm. Max has been homeless for a few months, and I've let him come home and sleep once in a while. And I was torn between having him stay here and just resign myself to the fact that he will never work and never make any money, and he will be someone that just stays at my house and argues with me over whether we should watch something or other on the television set, because I didn't have my computer. So he has the audacity to come home and plop himself on the chair and watch whatever the YouTube we have on the TV set when I have nothing. And then if I say I want to watch what I want, he gets mad. Now, I know there's a lot of maladies out there. There's people that can't walk. There's paralyzed people. There's people with Down syndrome that face many obstacles throughout their life. But do not discount the malady of being a high-functioning autistic alcoholic. One of the worst things you can ever see in your life. I don't wish it upon anyone. I don't even wish it upon Lizard or Skin Bag or anybody. That's how bad it is. It's bad because a high-functioning autistic person wants self-gratification immediately, and that's all they think about. They're obsessed with it. They won't rest until they get what they want now. And they will use any means necessary to do it. And if you're an alcoholic and you need alcohol, you're going to get alcohol. So, long story short, he came home. He's been sleeping here. I've been having him do chores around the house, which I pay him. I'm paying him to live for free in my house. But that, at least things are getting done, and he's keeping the place clean. I'll hand that to him. Comes home and get up in the morning this morning at around 8. I figure he's in bed, sleeping off whatever he's been drinking. And he comes in the front door and he says, I've been trying to get a job down at Labor Max, and we spent an hour down there, but they didn't have anything for him, so he went to the store and bought himself some shots and some chips. Um, and proceeded to start drinking. And he was fine when he walked in the door, and he was coherent. And after he had 2 or 3 shots in succession, he became violent and belligerent and hostile and dangerous. So we got into it a little bit. I was trying to keep my cool, but he was just doing more and more weird things and making threats to me physically. And I said, get the hell out of the house because I can't handle you like this. It's too much stress. It's making me sick. And he didn't want to leave. And then he's like, I'm going to call the police. And I'm like, whatever. He doesn't even have a phone. So he grabs my phone and I grab it back and we get into a little fisticuffs. And it was kind of a recreation of the kneeling with whatever his name was. And he got up and grabbed my phone and went outside. And then he called the police, called 911. That shows his brain capacity. He was totally wasted. So the police came and they talked to him for a while. And then they came to my door and they said, what happened? And I said, we got into it a little bit because he's drunk and he's getting hostile. And they said, well, was there any physical altercation? And I go, well, I had to subdue him. But other than that, no. And they say, okay, bye. And I went back to doing whatever I was doing. And when I looked out the window, the police cars were gone and Max was gone. So I would hope that they arrested him for at least calling 911 when he's drunk and starting up a brouhaha, which I knew was going to happen. And if it was a few years ago, I would have convinced him, don't call 911, you're only going to get yourself in trouble. But I chose to say nothing. So I don't know where he is now. He's not at home, so I would hope he's cooling his heels in jail. And I hope they keep him there for a week. Because then at least when he gets out, he will have not drank for a week. And if he goes straight to the store and buys a bunch of shots and gets wasted, then that's that. I'll wash my hands of that. But that's why I'm not in the best of moods when it comes to looking at the macrocosm. Because it's gone in 2 weeks. It's gone from people just kind of going, yeah, everything's crazy, everything's nut. It's gone to, yeah, everything's over. They're jumping on my bandwagon, getting on my shtick, as if it's original, to say that this country has declined and now it's going over the abyss. The tipping point's come. It's going to come in the next few weeks. I know I've been saying that for a long time. Yes, in 2 weeks this is going to happen. Yes, in a month. Yeah, we're not going to have any electricity. Well, it's really coming close now. An EMP could strike at any time. There's so many different ways we've made ourselves vulnerable to attack. And I have a feeling that it's going to be either an all-out thing that's a bunch of different things at once, poisoning the reservoir, releasing pandemics, EMPs, or they have this DEW, direct energy weapon they have now. That's what they're talking about with Maui. No, it couldn't have been a real fire. It's a direct energy weapon. It's like, I'll get on board with a conspiracy theory. They wiped out an island that shouldn't have been wiped out. There was a hurricane 500 miles away. And the wind blew down, a few transformers, and that caused a fire. And at the same time, the bad weather made it so the sirens wouldn't go off, and the early warning system. And for some reason, at the same time, the water pressure went down, and they didn't have enough water to fight the fire. So it doesn't matter if it's a conspiracy theory or not. Who cares if only the rich estates survived and the rest of the whole island was inundated, or at least major portions of it. And who cares if the fact that they've been planning to make Maui a smart city. They want to start a whole new infrastructure on that island, but they can't do it with all this old style wooden thatched huts along the frontage of Lahaina, which I've been to many times. And its destruction is heartbreaking. If you've been there, and especially if you go there and you're not really a tourist, but you're kind of a Hawaii hipster, island hopping, and you know the lingo and you know what's going on. And Lahaina was a trip because nobody wanted to work back then. It was 1900 and, let's say, 79 or 80. We went to Lahaina, me and my buddy, and it's like all the workers in the shops are outside hobnobbing with their buddies on the sidewalk. There's nobody even manning the shops. Once in a while somebody goes in and wants to buy a t-shirt, then they go in and they'll help them. But it's just one big little social gathering. It's cool. It's a great place. It was. And the weather was good and the aura was good. Maui no Ka'oi. But aside from that, we won't talk about any nefarious schemes they might have had, because whether it's conspiracy or not, the place is destroyed. So when you look at 6 billion people dying, you can say it's a conspiracy, or you can just say 6 billion people have died. And they're making it happen. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, they want to depopulate this planet in order to make it sustainable for an elite few. And what their function is and how they deserve to be part of the elite, I don't know. It could be an existential thing, where they're in league with certain forces in the universe, which I can adhere to and I can expostulate on. I mean, it's really obvious if you kind of think beyond the box and think there's negative and positive forces in the universe, and they're vying for each other, for power, and they do everything they can to undermine positiveness, positive life, value, human value, value in creation, value, creating value. That's what you want to do. And if people want to stop you from creating value, they're part of the evil side. Now, we're in such a position now that we don't know which side is which. The people we think are evil think we're evil. So we got ourselves in a bit of a dilemma unless we really band together and decide to honor the mystic law of cause and effect, and everything you do is a cause you're making for the future. So if you do bad, you're going to get bad. If you do good, you'll get good. If everybody does that on the planet, then all problems will be solved. But I didn't say much, and I think I said quite a bit. I wanted to get you up on that microcosm. I won't be talking about that for much longer. But on the other hand, I have another son who's in the Army, and he's halfway through his advanced individual training in religious services, and so he'll be through with that in a month. And he's been sending me money, and he has helped me because I couldn't get this Chromebook working, because there's 10 million different passwords to get to 15 million different networks, and I can't find any of them. So he called me today, and I said I can't get the internet up because I don't have the password. And he goes, oh, I got it in my book somewhere. So he tells me what book it was in, and I found it, and I got up. So he's a lifesaver, and he's going to reap the reward down the line for how he's helped me out, because he's helped us out so much, there's no repaying him. So there's the tale of two cities, the tale of two sons. I hope that they all turn out good in the end. But I'll leave it there. It's long enough. I think I said enough. Hopefully this was halfway good. And enjoy the night.